All right, we are streaming live. Just 17 minutes late. All right, and I'm sure we'll get that all worked out here in the future. Uh, how you doing? How you doing, Rashad?
Doing all good, man. My clock says 10 minutes.
Oh, where?
So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, my old
yeah,
lady
three
be
minutes.
like changing all the clocks because she got issues with time, so she be changing all the clocks in the house, like making them fast, and they be like getting on my nerves. So every time
Well,
I
there
see
you
her,
go. See,
I said
not
to
as bad as.
I said to Bridget too. I was like, "Where Bridget?" Or I said, "Where Rashad at?" And she was like, "Well, I just got 6:25." Oh shit! All right, all right, y'all. You remember when we go like commercial and do stuff to mute your microphones? Cause I'm getting extra
Yes.
feedback already. I can hear it.
Oh, let me turn my volume down.
Yeah, that might. I wonder if that's it.
Okay.
All right, you ready, Bridget?
I'm ready.
All right, y'all. Here we go. I'm gonna mute my microphone. All right.
Welcome to the 90 Degree Show, the sports center for college marching bands where we recap the ultimate battles from this weekend. And now, here's our host, the Phantom Podcaster himself, Joe Beard.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the 90 Degree Show. I'm your host, Joe Beard, and happy to be of service for you. We appreciate all those listening live through iTunes, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, our website, our blog, or wherever you are on the interwebs. At the end of the broadcast, if you decide you like the show, then we appreciate a donation to the network if you feel so in your heart, of course. Just simply go to themarchingpodcast.com and click on the donate button to help improve the show and help build our scholarship fund. Tonight's show is brought to you by Block Band Music and Publishing, SAY Marketing and Promotions, blockusup.com, and Kevin Pete of Remax Realty. We hope you enjoy the show. All right, everyone, welcome to the show. Welcome to the 90 Degree Show. We're in week 3, volume 3, if you will. And I wanted to say hello to my esteemed, got a little microphone stuff, esteemed panel of judges here, our panelists, experts, friends, members of the craft, veterans, all of that stuff. I'll start, of course, ladies first, with the wonderful and lovely Bridget Bell. How you doing tonight in this podcast, ma'am?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you guys again. Shout out to all the East Coast people out there. Hold on, let me give y'all a little bit of a shout out here. Oh, that's Rashad. You know, it's just nothing but like 6:30 over here on the West Coast, so we chilling. But all the people is up for the craft, including Bridget, who let me give you a little camera of Bridget here.
Mhm.
Bridget is definitely the one. She's up and at 'em now. I'm looking at your face now. She like smiling, but a second ago she was like, "Hey, let's get it moving." You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
trying to push through it. I'm pushing through it.
So we appreciate Bridget, and of course, a couple years ago, the magnanimous, and a year ago, the illustrious. Now, wait, oh, Rashad, wait, hold on, I got it. Oh, wait, hold on, let me look. Oh, here we go. Look, y'all, look, watch. The regal Rashad Waters. How you doing in this podcast, sir?
Greetings from Durham, North Carolina, the home by the sea. Hampton University is the home by the sea, but due to Florence, Durham, North Carolina is now the home by the sea.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I wanted to check on both you East Coast folks. Are you guys okay with the Hurricane Florence? How are you doing, Bridget?
It's south of us, so we didn't experience. We're getting a little bit of rain today, but North Carolina people, my thoughts and prayers are with you all because we're not really getting any of it. But I think Rashad, how you faring out?
It was very, very strange because we were supposed to get hit with the hurricane sometime like between Wednesday and Saturday. And between Wednesday and Saturday here in Durham, it was a cakewalk, man. I mean, all the students, Duke, Carolina, NC State, they all left. And it was cake. It just rained a little bit, but nothing happened. I woke up this morning and it was two tornado warnings and flooding everywhere. I'm like, what the heck happened? All the university students left and they came back this weekend and only to be hit with the hurricane today. So the hurricane was like, yeah, I'm waiting on you. Don't worry. I'll wait till you get back. But blissfully, there was nothing near me or my family, so I'm happy about that. But it wasn't too bad in Durham, but there were some places in Durham and Chapel Hill that did get flooded a little bit. The east coast of North Carolina got hit pretty bad, really bad actually, like Goldsboro, New Bern, Wilmington, a few other places. They got hit pretty bad.
Yeah, I actually saw that on the news. My mother lives in Charlotte, so
Mhm.
I was, catching up with her. And then shout out to McFadden, Avery McFadden, our brass expert on the show. He's out there too, and illustrious. A lot of other my friends that went to Smith, they all out there too. So yeah, just you all in my prayers. A lot of good games this weekend, y'all, were canceled because of
Hmm.
the hurricane. So you're in our prayers. We know it ain't nothing to play with. I remember years ago growing up. I don't know if you guys remember, but Hurricane Hugo came
Mhm.
through the East
Hmm.
Coast. I think it was like the 90s or something. I remember, and I just kind of remember thinking about everybody, all my family in the Carolinas. So you guys are all in my prayers. I hope you guys be safe and everything. All right.
Mhm.
Will
Um.
do.
Okay. So real quick before we get into the shows tonight, we're going to talk about Clark and Tuskegee from the SIAC. Florida A&M and Jackson State were supposed to match up this year. I have my little 2 cents about that too, and I'll talk about what I saw from FAM, and then our last matchup, probably the biggest one from the weekend, is the SWAC matchup between Texas Southern and Alcorn, Bizarro State, if you will. Hold on, give him a little comedy feel there. There you go, a little comedy feel. And I changed it, Rashad. I don't know if you can't see it now, but when you
Uh-huh.
look at the video, Rashad and I had a business conversation about the monkey from last week. So it's a little monkey. If y'all saw the first two episodes, it's a little monkey that was doing the little doom, and Rashad said, "Brother, we probably need to get some more eyes about that." So I changed it. Y'all. So now when y'all see it, now the little comedy feels with three dudes from Coming to America. That boy's
Yeah,
good.
I like the Coming to America one.
Yeah, that boy's good.
Okay.
That boy's
Mhm.
good. All right, so we'll roll with that instead of the monkey. But shout out to you, Rashad. Good eyes, good layers. You know what I'm saying? Um, I want to ask you guys real quick about um, tribute games. I guess that's what I'm labeling them, tribute games. But essentially, and I wanted to get you guys to take on this before we started talking about the bands. But I guess every year, or I guess whatever, let's say something major happens and like an artist dies, like Prince passed or Michael Jackson. This year it will be Aretha Franklin. So I got a couple
Hmm.
of questions for you guys for over under too this week. You know what I'm saying? But my what I want to bring up to the two of you, my two educated folks, was the idea of a tribute show. So what I mean by tribute show is, let's say that Hampton decides to pay tribute to Aretha Franklin, and then
Hmm.
they do all the stuff, all her songs, maybe videos, all the stuff like that. They do to pay homage to Aretha Franklin. Now,
Right.
I struggle with it sometimes because, hey, that's important and that's good, but nobody's gonna boo Aretha Franklin. All right, cause she
Mhm.
dead. All right, so like that would suck. That would be like poor taste to like boo her, right? So people go out there and they perform in these shows. They're not ready to be critical, or to me, like it makes me feel like that they're not the crowd per se, and even the other band, they're not gonna judge them and say, "Oh man, y'all took us to the cleaners tonight." because you know you talking about Aretha, so you're gonna be getting all extra house from the crowd and a whole bunch of stuff you wouldn't normally get unless you were, you know, giving somebody some type of shout out. So for me, when we were coming along, it was always religious shows or shows about God, where it's like, all right, y'all about to do a gospel show. So ain't nobody gonna boo God or nobody gonna boo the gospel. So does that mean y'all were scared of us when we came into town? You know, a lot of folks from back 1990 when the boom was really good and they went off to Motown 30, they said that Tennessee State at the Southern Heritage Classic played a Jesus show because they were so scared of them, you know. So I wanted to get you guys' take about it because for me personally, you know, if we going up against Miles or we going up against a real competitor, I don't want to pay tribute to nobody and then everybody focus on like the person we paying homage to. Unless they went to your school, you get that out of here. Because to me, it seemed like you milking for, you know, you thirsty for some house. That's just how I feel about it. Rashad, well, you gave me a response. Go ahead and give me your take about it, and then Bridget, I'm gonna ask you what you think.
I feel exactly the opposite. I feel like if you can't do what you do just because of some other band coming in, then you are now needing house, needing attention. If you can't do your gospel show because Southern is coming into town, you know, because you're so concerned about the fact that Southern is going to outdo you, now you're actually scared. I mean, to me, and I don't really see bands doing that. I mean, I'm sure you heard that Tennessee State said that and they were scared. I don't know if I would have to hear that from the horse's mouth. I hear a lot of times about people saying, oh, bands are scared. You know, like, for example, they come out late. Oh, they came out late because they were scared. Or they did this particular show because they were scared. I think that we as a people, when it comes to our bands, are really arrogant. We're way too arrogant to be really scared about anybody. When I was in Hampton's band, we weren't the best band in the world, but we were a really good band at the time. And we ran up against the monster, you know, the late '90s Southern University, and never in the band room were there any discussions about us being scared. We put together our show, and our show, the purpose of our show was to be the very best that we could, to entertain the crowd the best way we could. If that was a tribute show, then we did the very best tribute show that we could do. I don't believe the fact that bands can't be booed because they're doing a tribute show. But at the same time, I don't really see bands get booed that much. If you're getting booed, you really suck. Unless it's just completely bad, you know, animosity with the other band. But if it's just a crowd that really doesn't care and you're getting booed, yeah, you really suck. But a band can do a gospel show and be terrible. And a band can do, you can do a tribute show and still be bad. So I don't think that's a good way of hiding. Particularly, I look at FAM in particular. I think FAM does a lot of shows like that. And FAMU goes out and they do their thing, and their job is to be better than you are, point blank. So that's my take on it.
Bridget, what you think about tribute shows?
Well, you know, I really think, Joe, if you think about it, when someone great has passed, what greater way to honor that person than through playing their music? So even a lot of artists did it, like Ariana Grande. That's how she ended up on the funerals, because during one of her shows, she actually sang Natural Woman, I think she sang Natural Woman on one of her shows, and the family was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So I think when we see one of our legacies pass, I think it's a great honor to play their music, to honor them through the show. As far as doing it just to get house, I don't really think most bands think in that aspect, especially when it comes to honoring, you know, Michael Jackson, Prince, or whoever has passed. Yeah, you're going to get some house. That's nice. But most directors are like, okay, let me take a moment and have my band appreciate this legacy who, you know, lived and who produced great music. Now, I think there's two different mindsets on planning shows for other bands. I think a lot of bands will do it during their home games, or some will do it most of the season. It doesn't matter. But, you know, Rashad kind of comes from like the background I come from. MEAC bands, we didn't really plan our show based upon who, you know, we're going to do this so that because we're scared of this person, or because, you know, we want to impress, you know, Hampton or Norfolk or whoever. No, we did it because we thought it was going to be a great show. And that the crowd would like it. I see a different mindset a little bit in SWAC. I see that sometimes they do plan shows based upon their crowd and, who's going to get most house. And, I think about the Jackson State and I think the Southern game last year. They plan shows purposely with each other in mind. That's kind of a different mindset, different take. And so in that aspect, if you're thinking from a SWAC mindset, that may be kind of, part of it. Hey, we're going to do a gospel show, and kind of take that you have, Joe. But often, I don't think most band and band directors kind of think in that mindset. I think they're thinking about what's going to produce a good show, what's going to honor the moment. We're thinking about how to capitalize on the moment as well. I think that's just a part of it. But other than that, that's kind of that's just my kind of thought on it.
So yeah, I guess you guys are both right. I guess just for me though, a tribute is a tribute. So we're gonna, give props to whoever died or whatever's going on. Okay, I get that. That's understandable. For me, though, it just feels like you choosing to tribute something on the week that Southern's coming to town. Or you're choosing to I think it's calculating when people like pick those shows. Because they're not ready to do it against like Benedict. Or let's say Johnson C. Smith coming to town. They damn sure ain't about to do no Aretha Franklin show with Johnson C. Smith coming to town. You know what I'm saying? So I think it is some calculation to it, and maybe some other bands. I do think, Rashad, you got a point with the arrogance, because all of us believe that we the best band in the land. You probably across all HBCUs, probably against the PWIs, they'll probably tell you, oh, we got the best marching band in the country, probably in the galaxy. You know what I'm saying? But I still think. I just don't like to see too many tribute shows or shows to like God or something like that. Go out there, crank, do a dope drill, and that should be it. Give me a tribute show for the pregame, or do something off to the side, and then your media company could put it out on YouTube or something like that. But to me, it feel like, yo. You know what I'm saying? We thinking about somebody else if we got to do a whole Aretha Franklin show. I guess that's just my thing about it.
That just sounds like personal bias there, Joe.
Probably. But I just know that we didn't fool with too much of that stuff. We didn't have no, we didn't have no tribute shows or, hey, when I was in school, Tupac died. And we didn't have no Tupac show. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have no Biggie show. We didn't have none of that stuff like that. We just went out there and actually, perform to see if the other band was going to, actually topple what we were doing. So I guess everybody feels different. And Bridget, you might got a point too. It might have something to do with the conference or the particular, the band or whatever. So maybe CIAA bands ain't even thinking like that, So it's a take. I just wanted to get your 5 seconds on because I just feel like
some kind of way about it.
I do. Florida A&M, and I don't know what happened with Jackson State. I heard always a couple of different stories about what happened, but this is now like probably the third or fourth time we weren't able to go to Tallahassee. I remember the same thing happened in '97. We were really, really good, and we were ready to go to FAM. And, like, the buses never came. It was, like, the night before, Doc was like, all right, everybody come back here at 8 in the morning. And it was just like, what? And then we ended up not going.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was, like, crazy. So then, like, the next year.
Yeah, well, you knew why y'all didn't go, right?
Don't do that.
We wasn't scared. We wasn't scared.
Yeah, you're scared.
No, we wasn't scared.
Oh, the buses didn't come. The buses. That's what the band will believe. The band will believe that.
Well, I don't know what to believe because I just know that was the dopest band we probably ever had. '97 was like ignorant, super ignorant, and we wanted to go all over the world to travel. But
right, and that's exactly what it was. That was the dopest band Jackson State ever had. And y'all didn't stand a chance against FAM, so the buses didn't show up.
We know that ain't the case. We know that ain't the case. FAM was gonna be getting it. Taking the L at home would have been something. But this is what made me mad though. The next year, in '98, FAM then said, "Okay, fine. Well, we'll come to Jackson." And I'm like, "Oh, well." We were like, "Oh, okay, great." So they came to Jackson. They came and got their clock clean. Went home and same thing what happened in '97, you know what I'm saying? But at least FAM showed up. I don't like the fact that now this is like now the third time now the Boom's supposed to be going to Tallahassee, and like you say, Rashad, it's making it look like we scared, man. You know what I'm saying? It's making us look bad. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's just how I feel about it. But part of the reason I had brought that up was because Fam did a Aretha Franklin show, and I thought about that. I was like, what? You knew Jackson State was coming, or you had an idea that they would be coming because you at least prepared for a show. Why an Aretha Franklin show? Like, you're Fam. You know, why Aretha Franklin against Jackson State?
If I can just interject on that real quick. When you're talking about arrogance in bands, and this is no offense to you guys at Fam. We love you guys, and we know you do forefather and all this type of stuff. But you're talking about arrogance in bands. There's not a band more arrogant than FAMU. There is not a band in this country more arrogant than FAMU. And they will tell you they don't ever prepare for other bands. They say, "Oh, we just want to be better than ourselves," you know.
Yeah,
that's all they say. They say, "We don't care about other bands. We just want to outperform ourselves from the past." So yeah,
but I think
they were going to do that show regardless of who came.
I think that's a great mindset, though. Honestly, like I can't even hate on that mindset. That's the Alabama mindset. I think about when I listen to the coach Nick Saban after an Alabama win. That's what makes them great, being better than themselves. Like, they don't really prepare for the other team; they prepare for greatness. I think that's what makes you great. But Rashad, FAMU's arrogant. I think Southern is right up there with them. Them jokers just as arrogant as Fam. Fam just kills me with that whole Sutler Trophy. I'm like, Lord, if they don't let that thing go, they kill me with that Sutler Trophy, like, for real. And that's a whole another conversation. They have kind of a mar on their history right now. Yeah. That's kind of that kind of is humbling. They had a humbling moment. Southern is kind of getting their humbling moment right now. But those two, yeah, I agree. They're probably the two most arrogant. That's FAMU and Southern, probably the two most arrogant bands. And you know, you understand when you have a long legacy of being pretty good, you know, being great, then I can see it.
Let me tell you, it ain't no competition. Southern is arrogant now, but they ain't. When because I've had a lot of staff members from both schools, and one of my staff members came up to me during our conference call and was like, "Oh, the referees came up with the FAMU rule." It's like, what's the FAMU rule? So, well, the band can't be playing during, X and X time, and they called it the FAMU rule. It's like, the FAMU rule? Like, dude, we're in the same conference. There's no FAMU rule. What are you talking about?
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, no, you guys are right. Both schools are pretty bad, but I have to tell you, I'm a little bit more scared for my life in Louisiana, like when you go to Southern. Like, those folks are like scary. I remember they were throwing like beer bottles at us, and they were like yelling at us, and they were serious. Like, I thought it was funny because I was like, I thought this was a healthy rivalry, but no, I'm actually kind of scared. You know what I'm saying? So that was them. But Fam, definitely, they just talk. They a lot of talk. You know what I'm saying? And you have to understand and considerably. I mean, not considerably, but understandably enough. Those are the two programs that have a lot of originality. You know what I'm saying? Southern, like, with all dudes, which is special for them, and then Fam with like 800 people on the field and doing the Rattler. So I mean, hey, you got something to be cocky about. I understand it, but I don't know, man. I just felt like Fam could have done better. I guess at the end of the day, that's why I'm getting at. Fam could have done better. Now, you doing an Aretha Franklin show. Come on, man. You Fam. And Jackson State coming down and you doing an Aretha Franklin show, it feels like a cop-out.
But did they sound good? I didn't see the show. Did they sound good? That's the question.
Well, I mean, I think Fam sounds okay. They don't sound like what they used to do with, like, the bass boost. You know what I'm saying? Like, in those concert pieces that, like, feel like you kind of tearing up when they play. They ain't that. They ain't that now. But I mean, they sounded okay. But still, it's just like a Aretha Franklin show. Come on, fam. Y'all could have done better. But that's just me. I'm sure I hadn't looked at the chat room, but I guess if somebody got something to say about the chat, I would have loved to have posted this on the fifth quarter, because the Fam folks they come out to eat on the fifth quarter, yo. You know what I'm saying?
I just don't know how Fam wins with you because I don't think they didn't perform last week, did they?
Yeah, they
So
played against Fort Valley State last week.
was it a home game?
I believe so.
So
Because I
did they
saw
do
some of the
I
game.
mean, they have to do the Aretha Franklin show at some point. Some most bands are going to do a Aretha Franklin show, so they have to do it sometime.
And you
I
make a
don't know.
good point. But are you going to do a tribute show against Fort Valley State? Or are you going to do it against Jackson State?
I have to do it against whoever.
Knowing damn well the difference in the programs. Are you going to have a tribute show for the better band coming to town? Or are you going to have it for Fort Valley State? I guess that's what I'm saying.
I just think you do it whenever you want to. I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely think that people circling schedules. They're like, all
You're
right,
from the
we ain't about
SWAC.
to,
That's that SWAC.
hey,
That's
we
that
ain't
SWAC
about to
stuff.
do it this week. But yeah, let's do it against Pine Bluff. Yeah, there you go. We love Aretha. Love Jesus. Praise God.
Wow.
All right, Bobby.
That's that SWAC stuff, Joe. You're biased. That come from that SWAC stuff. You're all the ones that press and do that foolishness.
We just not scared. We just
You be
like to
playing
go
video
out.
clips of the other band. Like, really, y'all prepping that hard for the other band? It's not that serious. Just go out there and do your thing.
Well, that's how we feel. But yeah, I'm a little, I don't know. I just don't like that. Fam, you know damn well you shouldn't be doing Aretha Franklin Jack Jackson. That's the bottom line. All right, y'all. So, let's go ahead and get into the band competition because it's already. Hey, well, we be talking, boy. I don't even. I can't help it.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I know. But that's all right. Let's go ahead and do a first commercial break, and let's come back and talk about Texas Southern and Alcorn, and
That's
then
cool.
we can get into Clark and Tuskegee. Shout out to the unbelievable band directors at the correspondence schools, Clark and Tuskegee, both friends of the show, both chopping it up guests. Make sure you check out both of those chopping it up interviews, and we'll get into giving these two wonderful musicians some props. Definitely forefront, good role models for people in the future. And you guys make sure you check it out. Check out Chopping It Up with both Tamisha Proc Bryce and John Lennard. Funny enough, from FAM. John Lennard is director at Tuskegee, but he went to FAM. So he was there in '98 too. You know what I'm saying? So he'll tell y'all. All right, so let's go to the commercial. Listen, appreciate y'all listening. You listen to 90 Degree Show. This volume 3 for week 3, and we'll be back with the matchups from this past Saturday. Thanks again for listening.
Your host, Joe Beard, and the 90 Degree Show will return in a moment.
Band directors, have you ever found yourselves in this situation? Showtime is quickly approaching. Your budget is quickly disappearing. Your music choices are narrowing. The equipment condition is wearing and your stress level is mounting. Stop what you're doing and contact Block Band Music and find out how we've got you. Check www.blockbandmusic.com, providing music, equipment, gear, and accessories to show style, core style, and traditional bands worldwide.
And now, more of the 90 Degree Show with your host, Joe Beard.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Bridget and Rashad, do you guys hear the sounds this week? I don't know if I did a test with you, Bridget. Y'all don't hear them
we don't hear
tonight?
anything.
Yeah,
It's just
so
silence.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know when it was. Rashad was just fine last week. But yeah, we still working on it. It's definitely something like when I call y'all on Skype or when, because I set up everything and then it's something, but we'll figure it out.
I feel like I've been sent to the corner to sit in my room and think about what I did.
Yeah, man. Nah, man. But yeah, we'll figure it out. So again, thanks again for listening. We're now ready to talk about one of the matchups from last week. So we had a good matchup in the SWAC with the good Bizarro State I'm sorry. Alcorn State. Hold on. Is that worth? Hold on. Hold on. Let me get my little sound effect. There you go. Little Bizarro State. Shout out to you. I'm just kidding. That is Alcorn State University. A great university. And I mean, Superman. We all love Superman, right? That would be Jackson State. His evil twin. That's Alcorn, and everybody knows it. You know what I'm saying? But I will just spoiler alert. They look kind of good on that video this weekend. Alcorn, like, wow, they really surprised me. So, Bridget, I'll let you ladies first. What'd you think a halftime show between? Oh wait, I think I got the little timer. See, y'all can't see the timer too. I think I got a timer on here, y'all. Let me see if I can start it up. Let's see if this will start working here. All right, yeah, there we go. So for you people at home, we done look at the little clock. Look at the little clock up there. All right, y'all. Bridget, I'm gonna give it to you. What you think about Alcorn and Texas Southern in the halftime show?
Okay, so I'm gonna start with Alcorn. So it was funny. There was a lot of hyping information about Alcorn floating around. I'm gonna say Facebook. Oh, their numbers are down. This is that and the other. Alcorn, oh, they sound like trash. Usually the Southern folks, because they talk a lot of junk. Mm-hmm. And so the first clip that came out of Alcorn that I heard this season, I was like, ooh. And they're like, oh, our numbers are down. And then I see this band, and I'm like, oh, this is another band. So let me talk through some things that I saw. I've seen 2 bits of footage from them. Killer Kev did some nice footage, and then they had their own band, a media team that did some footage, which they did the slow-mo thing, which is driving me nuts. Like, stop doing slow-mo so we can see what's really going on. And Killer Kev was, he was live real time. His footage was a little bit different. First thing I'm going to say, you guys don't think I'm crazy, but get rid of the female drum majors. The taller of the 2, constantly look at the other people for direction. And it was so obvious. Like, she kept looking to her right, because I think she's on the left side. So she kept looking to her right. And I'm like, what's she looking for? Like, you need to be confident in your routine. The shorter of the 2 was okay. But I feel like we have female drum majors, which I give them mad respect. And last time I was on the show, I gave them props. But I don't like to clearly pick out within a second, oh, they got a female drum major, because you look like a female in what you're doing. Not saying you're supposed to be manly, but we have to be careful of the body gyrations in certain ways that we do things that look more dancer-ish rather than drum major-ish, if that makes sense. So that was kind of off-putting to me. Their field show was actually pretty good, and their sound, I hate to bust your bubble, Southern, their sound wasn't that, it wasn't bad. It wasn't all bad. So on the field, I thought on the field, they actually did a nice field show. GGs were GGs, their dance line, they did their thing. The dance routine was okay, they got they were kind of hype on the dance routine. It was an okay dance routine. Even though I'm going to talk about this dance routine thing later, because I saw a dance routine that gave me everything I needed this weekend. Shout out to Kentucky State. They lit that dance routine up. That's how you do a dance routine. But this one wasn't bad. This was a pretty good dance routine. Texas Southern, I've seen the show. I saw that show last week, and I didn't see improvements from when you did it last week. That's my biggest critique. The lines are not straight. It was raggedy. That's the best way I can put it. The drilling was really raggedy. I thought they could have put a better product on the field, especially considering you had a week or at least a week to get it together. So I wasn't too impressed with Texas Southern on the field. Overall the show was okay. It was funny they performed to the other side.
I saw
I
noticed
that.
That.
Yeah. That was a discussion point. Like, should you perform to the box or not? I think it's a courtesy to perform to the box. But let me tell you, there's been times where I didn't like the school that I've been like, look, can we just perform to our side? But to perform to the press box is customary. But they decided not to. And it's so funny because Alcorn kind of responded at the end of their show. They kind of turned around and was like, hey, we still got our house or whatever, which was interesting. Overall, I definitely give Alcorn the halftime. There's really no I don't think there was really any competition with that one. They drilled better. Overall, they had a better sound. And I was really pleasantly surprised with Alcorn. I think that's it for me.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Really good take about the female band director. I'm sorry. Drum major. Really, honestly, really good point. I was gonna say something when I saw FAM, because you guys know FAM has the female director. Oh, I keep saying director. The female drum major this year, and I've heard a lot of mixed reviews. I hear a lot of people saying that she's good, and I hear a lot of people like kind of like leaning towards, hey, this is good that a female is there, especially at FAM, you know. But at the other side, I hear that she's not that good. I've seen her. I mean, she's all right, but it's exactly what Bridget just said. It's noticeable that she's a girl.
I don't think so with her. Now, with her, I totally disagree. With the clips that I've seen of her style, I had to take figure out which one she was. I had to really kind of think about it. Her style is really crisp. Her body movement, body gyrations are not that. First of all, you know, they have a different kind of style. It's really a more starch style, and she is smoking it. I think she is the better of the female drum majors that I've seen this season. When I say I've really had to take a double take, like I was watching with somebody else, and it was like, well, which one's the female? Thank you. That's what it's supposed to be. I didn't see that. You know, Joe, I kind of disagree with that one. I think she's the cleaner of the ones that we've seen this season. And everybody has a female drum major, I feel like, this season. Like, really, honestly, almost everybody has one.
Yeah, I think Jackson State has one. And
not this season. Not this season. She quit last season.
Yeah,
not last season.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny is that I was literally going to say that's what I get for talking about other bands. All right, so hold on. Let me just get it. That's what I get for talking about other bands. I swear I was gonna say we had a girl drum major and how much better she was than the girl from FAM. And then yeah, my bad. All right, so look, y'all don't remember that. Y'all erased that part. So I don't know. For me, I thought she was all right. It feel like her hat is too big or something. Like I don't know. Like it's just not there for me. Rashad, what did you think, man, about before we get too far off of the tangent? But Bridget, that was really good. I'm glad you said that. That was actually a really good point. Rashad, what did you think, brother, about Texas Southern and the good Alcorn?
I'll start with Texas Southern first. Their drum major entrance, that was not tight. It was not tight, and it was way too long. I'm like, it was almost like a minute going into the show. I'm like, come on, let's get the show started. And their marching, they just were not tight. Like we've seen really, really tight drum majors, and after seeing those and then seeing them, like they need to spend a lot more time getting that together, getting tight. The announcer said that this is the most exciting band in the nation. Because they had a boring show. You can't say that you're the most exciting band in the nation and then do a boring show, do the same step twos that we've been seeing for 50 years. I mean, it's got Bridget yawning right now. That's how boring it is. I mean, the marching wasn't good. It wasn't uniform. The lines were not straight. And the music that you played was straight out the book. I'm Dreaming, Black and Blues, PYT, like I bet you all of those songs have been in their book for like the last 10 years. And maybe I'm wrong, but every single one of those songs are songs that bands would traditionally just play. I almost felt like they said, well, we need something. It felt like they had a hurricane or something like that, and they didn't have the opportunity to prepare new music or something like that. So they're like, oh man, we have something going on. We got to get something ready. Here, we just play these 3 songs. Like, come on, man. It was just, I just didn't like it. And there wasn't any energy in the dance routine. Here's a trick that we did at Hampton. I mean, I'm sure the other bands might want to try this, but if you're dancing and you're not playing, try yelling. You know, because if you're just,
they're not hearing anything.
I mean, it's not crunk, particularly if you're not gonna get crunk, and they didn't get crunk. So it was just a fail for me, Texas Southern. I'm sorry. I've seen you better than that. I was highly disappointed. Let's go to Alcorn State. Okay, first of all, let me piggyback off of what Bridget said. Two things that she said. Number one, video team. Yes, stop the slow motion. That was annoying. Don't ever do that again. I'm sitting there, I'm trying to watch what's happening, and we're watching the drum major. Like a $6 million man. Like, no, man, just get different video angles and stuff, but we don't need the slow motion. That sucks. And also, yes, I was told by people, mainly Bridget, that Alcorn State was smaller and didn't sound that.
Don't do that.
I was very blown away because they really sound good. They have some really good marching. I mean, their marching was very, very uniform. Like, I loved it. I wish the trombones would hold their horns up just a tad higher, but that's a personal thing because they were all at the same angle. So I love it. They had a lot of intricate things going on during the Dance Girl song. My only thing, though, is that if you listen carefully, that song is about to fall apart any second. Because what's happening is that the percussion section is slightly off, or the winds are slightly off from the percussion section. And it is that close to falling apart. But they hold it together. It's like the beat is not together, but there's enough going on in the song that it's hard to tell that that's happening. So just be careful with that. Make sure to lock in a little bit better. When they got to the dancer team, they had a lot of energy. And, of course, some of that they didn't have to yell because the other half of the band was playing. But they really had a lot of energy in what they were doing. When the second half of the band was playing, the baritones almost seemed like they were about to get off. They were getting off slightly for the percussion section, so just tune into that. But as far as, Joe, I know the next question is going to be who was better. There's no question. Alcorn State was much better than Texas Southern. They basically did to Texas Southern what Cat Williams did to Wanda J.
Oh.
Nice one. Nice.
And a Pepsi. And a Simple Pepsi. Rashawn, who did the 3 question mark boxes? Was that Texas Southern in the dance routine?
I don't remember that.
And it was like 3 monkeys who jumped out and they was chasing a banana.
That was okay.
Oh,
that
yes,
was
yes.
Go ahead, please speak on
it. I don't remember who that was, but whoever did that.
Texas Southern. That was terrible. Southern, what are you doing? You know, I always say gimmicks are for bands who suck. Y'all know I say it. Gimmicks are for bands who suck. That was a terrible. First of all, it was a terrible gimmick. Like, make it worthwhile. That was terrible. I don't get it.
And I thought it was going to turn into something like when the banana came out. Like, I thought the banana was really going to come out there and really get it. He said, no, chase him off the field. They just ran off the field. Come on, bro.
All right, so we
got better than that.
So we got times up here. If y'all can see it, I can't put the times up here. Let me.
So you didn't tell us how long we have to talk.
My bad. So I was watching, but see, I keep forgetting y'all can't see it. Y'all can't see.
I'm kind of watching. I'm watching it on my phone, but it's a delay, so it's not helping.
Yeah. So, let me just restart it up. I'm excited. I found a little program where I can put the little thing up there like that. I'm like really, really excited. In fact, here, give it up. Give it up for the people. I got people clapping. Y'all probably can't hear it. I wish y'all could. Hopefully next week we'll correct it. We're still working out the audio visual stuff, y'all, but we appreciate y'all listening. Appreciate y'all watching. So real quick, I'm not going to I'm going to reset the clock when we do the other bands. But for me, let me pull out I got a new tablet, y'all.
Uh-oh.
I'm excited. I don't know how to use it yet, and now I don't have my stuff that I get. Oh, here we go. Here we go, y'all. All right.
It is.
So yeah, overall I had Alcorn. For one, I'll just go ahead and give Alcorn props. I never like Alcorn. And
that's a prop.
Yeah. I mean, I try my best to say good stuff about Alcorn, but no lie, real talk, well, real spit, as they say out here on the West Coast. Alcorn looked really, really good. Let me go and give them some props. Alcorn they look great. I don't really even know how to flip it and bounce it, but they look really, really good. And they sounded pretty good. There were little spots where they sounded like Alcorn, like they would be good, and then like it would be like a wrong note or like a hole in the song or something. It's like, oh, okay, that's Alcorn. But dude, I think this is the best that I have personally seen Alcorn this year, and I'm a little interested about what's gonna happen at the Soul Bowl this year, because of course that's when Jackson State and Alcorn meet at the end of the year.
Jackson State probably gonna do a tribute show.
Oh no! Oh no! Hold on. Let me give you. I got the wrong sound. Wrong sound. But no. I'm not gonna lie. I like Alcorn this year. They're like the truth. I give them their props. They look really, really good. The only other thing, they sounded better. Alcorn sounded better. It was basically like a clean sweep. The only other thing that jumped out at me was we just had this conversation starting the show about the monkey and the drums, and then they had the three. They had those three dudes. I was like, what? And you heard Bridget like, what are you doing? You heard her say, what are you doing? That's kind of what I thought. I'm like, what exactly? Like, I don't know, but I guess they were trying to relate because it was Beyonce's song. And what is it? You ain't ever see the crowd go ape stuff, So I thought,
really?
So maybe they were trying to the apes. Just horrible decision, Texas Southern.
I thought they were just alphas or something. I didn't know what they would.
Wow.
I mean, that's what the alphas do. They do ape gorilla stuff, ape stuff.
Don't do that to the alphas. I mean, don't do it to the alphas. We're not gonna even put them down like that.
So yeah, that kind of threw me off. That was what jumped out to most of me. I was just like, what are y'all doing? As far as who sounded better, Alcorn sounded better. Texas Southern is like super loud though. They got some volume, and that middle brass is the truth, but they just totally eat up the trumpets. Just no upper brass line. But I give the arrangers for Texas Southern props because they arrange and stuff for their instrumentation, and it fits. It works for them. I personally like more upper brass, but that's a personal thing. What you say, Rashad?
Actually, Joe, I'm glad you mentioned that because I forgot about that. I actually was about to get on the arranger's case for not arranging for their band because I think it was during PYT where the trumpets have the melody and the baritones have the harmonized melody, and you can't hear the melody for the harmony. I'm like, dude, like, don't you know you have 16 baritones and they're cranking over the trumpets? Like, cut those parts in half. There's no rule that says all the baritones have to play the same part. There's no rule that says that. Split them up. Have some of those baritones playing the same thing as the trumpet. So yeah, that was nagging me really bad. They need to do better.
That's what's up, man. So yeah, middle brass dominant. Texas Southern. Well, I guess we'll get into the fifth when we start talking about it. But yeah, I just think that Alcorn had the better show. Alcorn's drill was one of the best drills I've ever seen. Probably best, like I said, best overall performance Alcorn had. But their drill was really good. They executed it, and it had like the perfect level of difficulty to it. So I was just really impressed. And then Texas Southern drill, they weren't as precise on the field, I thought. So I mean, for me, it was a clean sweep for Alcorn, man. I was really surprised because because my issue with Alcorn, I was rooting on Texas Southern. Shout out to the show style radio dudes. They all went to Texas Southern, so I'm sure they were representing. But I think Alcorn gave them the L this time. Anything to add to that, Bridget?
Not for halftime.
Okay, Rashad, anything to add for halftime?
Nope. Just Bridget needs to pinch herself over there.
I know. I see it.
10:30 East Coast.
I know.
10:30 East Coast. Y'all know I'm struggling over here. I'm hanging though. I'm trying.
Oh, we appreciate it, Bridget. Let me go ahead and start and do the next commercial break. We will come back and talk about the fifth. Did you guys check out the fifth quarter between the two schools?
A little bit. Yeah.
Because it wasn't too much different from I think what we kind of talked about. But we'll talk about that, and then we'll roll right into Clark and Tuskegee. Their fifth wasn't that long, so I'm sure we could wrap up the conversation. And I said what I wanted to about FAM and Bridget. She did a good job of bringing out an extra point about the female drum major. So I think that's pretty much it. Jackson State did not go. Again, we did not go. I don't know what the hell happened. We wasn't scared though. Hold on, where my button? Where my phone? Oh wait, hold on, I can't.
They didn't have a red roof in there.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm just playing.
No,
I'm just playing.
Well, hold on.
I'm just playing.
Wow.
I know, but that was kind of funny though. But
I'm playing.
it's all good, Bridget. I can't wait till Morgan State get into some trouble, because then I'm gonna say a little joke. I can't wait till y'all get in trouble. I'm gonna say
It won't be under this director, I tell you that.
I know.
It'll be when we switch over, maybe. But right now, under this Mr. Miles ain't happening.
Yeah, see that damn. She really said that. That's all right though. That's all right. That's all right. Let's go.
I was holding it last. I thought actually Rashad was gonna say it. I was like, don't go there, don't go there. He was like, no, they scared. I was like, oh, okay. I thought Rashad was actually gonna say it earlier.
No, I leave those type of hits to you.
It was a good one, Bridget. I
This
give
is
you.
where I need Christy, because she would have said it for me.
Yeah, she would have. But Christy though, she get crunk though. You say something about A&T though, she start going off though, boy. Christy get mad.
Wait a minute, hold up.
Yeah. That's what's up, y'all. All right, let's knock out the commercial and we'll come back. Thanks again for listening. You listen to the 90 Degree Show, Volume 3, and we'll be back with the great SEAC matchup between Clark and Tuskegee. Directors, both friends of the show. You listen to the 90 Degree Show. We appreciate you listening.
Your host, Joe Beard, and the 90 Degree Show will return in a moment.
The source for fair and factual information on your favorite college bands, blockusup.com. Well-written articles, in-depth band performance analysis, helpful resources for band directors, fun band-related topics, and exclusive interviews with some of today's brightest and most talented leaders of college marching bands. Visit us at blockusup.com, the meeting place for band fans and band directors.
And now, more of the 90 Degree Show with your host, Joe Beard.
All right, we are back to talk about the unbelievable matchup here. We want to talk about the fifth quarter right quick. I just want to hear you guys' take. A lot of things similar, I think, from what we talked about at halftime. But I want to get what you guys thought about the fifth quarter. So, Bridget, what did you think about the fifth quarter between the Sounds of Dynamite and the Ocean of Soul?
You know what? Actually, the fifth quarter, I would probably take a little different stance. I feel like Texas Southern had a better overall stand sound, actually. I think that's where their strength kind of came into play. Everybody's doing that loud thing. Like, everything is loud and everything is arranged really high.
Yes.
It's driving me nuts. It's driving me nuts. I know you guys like it. You know, they call it that C word that I hate. And so, you know, I almost think it's unfair at this point. I don't think it really shows what your band is really doing, but you know, go ahead with it. Y'all go ahead and enjoy that. But everybody's arranging high and loud. You know, everything is higher in order to get the volume that they want. If everybody had the same arrangements under the same, one day I would like somebody to do that. Everybody has to play the same arrangement and see what we get. And it's written in the correct key or close to it. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. In the stands, it was actually closer. I think it's very close there. And I actually probably give the upper hand to Texas Southern. I think overall, if you're going to do the loud thing, it's not really their thing, but Texas Southern is closer. I think they were a little cleaner in the stands than Alcorn. I think they were a little cleaner in the stands. So I would actually give the stands to, from the bit of footage that I saw, I would give it to Texas Southern. But shout out to the GGs. They be giving me life. Those are I tell you, for dancers, the GGs all right with me. I'm a super player, but GGs they be getting it. They make me want to pull out my inner dancer. If you don't sit that down, Rashad, you looking like that female drum major, Rashad. You looking like the female drum majors.
every 8 count.
Especially they be getting it. I like the GGs. I'm sorry. GGs be like,
they get it too much.
I'm trying to tell you, you watch them on the ramp. On the field, I think they're okay. I go back to K-State. K-State slayed this weekend. That's who we should be talking about. Their dancers was like killing on the field. GGs are better. I think they're better in the stands, and definitely when they taking it in ramp and all that, they're really good there. But on the field, it was just it was okay. But anywho, we're talking about the bands too. I think in the stands, I would kind of lean towards Texas Southern, not by a huge margin, but I would give them the upper hand in the stands.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Rashad, man, what you think about the fifth between the Ocean and the SOD?
I'm glad that Bridget and I disagree on something, because I was starting to be concerned about the show. Because
we never agree.
As far as the wins are concerned, I am in 100% agreement with her. Yes, you could definitely tell what Texas Southern's focus is. It is not on the field show. That ain't their focus. They came to life in the fifth quarter. Like, they were a completely different band, much cleaner than on the field. And there were many times that they played something with a bunch of runs in it, and I thought that he just completely did away with Alcorn. But Alcorn was able to stand their ground. You know, they came back with something, but I still think that Texas Southern was the better band overall. I think there was a lot of times where they just really, their cleanliness in their playing really made them stand out. I saw a couple of comments on the video, and I agree with it that, again, the whole thing about having all your baritones play together is a problem. It's a real problem in the band. And it really happens with both bands, but particularly with Texas Southern. But let me just ask a question. How loud does one section of your band have to be with respect to the rest of the band? Like, how loud is too loud? Apparently, there's no ceiling on that for many of our bands. If you got 16 baritones or 16 euphoniums, that's just what you have. And you just blow as loud as you can and put them all on the same part, regardless of what you have in the rest of the band. And that's just gobbledygook. You need to, our bands is gobbledygook. Our bands need to do better. You could do more with their baritones. Split them into parts. Or have you ever thought about taking some of your trombones and maybe not have them on 3 parts all the time, maybe have them on 2 if you're going to have your baritones playing like that. So it's a real problem, particularly with Texas Southern. Their trumpets are just, might as well just go home sometimes. And they just really need the support from another instrument. But overall, again, they were better. The part that we disagree with, I am not a fan of the GGs, and I'm not really going to get into it a whole lot, but I just don't think that popping on every 8 count is not the answer. When I watch the dolls, the dancing dolls, and I'm watching Golden Delight and Ebony Fire, and even the Foxy Ladies, I don't see that type of stuff. I see that you can be classy, and there's so many more dance moves in popping. And if you watch them throughout the fifth quarter, they just pop all the time. And it's like, okay, come on, guys. There's more. There's more to it. So, but that's it.
Yeah, I guess again that's a methodical understanding of theory. I don't mind the popping myself. I like the GGs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they straight to me. When you start talking about class and all that, man.
I mean, I am divided on it. I mean, part of me does really like it.
You didn't set it down.
I'm trying to contain that part. You know what I mean? These are, you know, saying this is a family event. There's places where I would love to see that, but not in the football stadium.
Don't do that to the GGs. Don't treat them like that.
They be working hard though. I mean, they be out there breaking it down now. So you got to give them their props for it. For me though, I thought that I agree with Rashad. Texas Southern comes alive in the stands. I think a lot of swag bands do, just because like Bridget said, it's time for the C word. So some folks they get all excited. But I still couldn't get over missing the trumpets. Like I really, really wanted to hear more trumpets for me to be satisfied. So Alcorn was providing more of a sound. Now, Texas Southern probably might have been louder. I mean, they both were loud now. Don't get me wrong, but Texas Southern might have been loud, but I felt that Alcorn was providing more of the triangle, if you will. Like I heard more of the parts from Alcorn. But I will say Texas Southern, they had some fire songs though. Like their lineup that they kept coming out with, it was a lot of songs like When We Were Shorties. So like, you know, Troop and Guy and all that stuff.
Like shorties.
You know us, because you know we all around the same age. Shout out to you, happy birthday, Bridget. You September, aren't you, Bridget?
You said what now?
You September, aren't you?
Yep, September 14th.
Yeah, I'm the 18th. So let's go ahead and give a shout out.
Happy birthday!
Oh, wow,
Your birthday's about to be in a few minutes while we're on the show.
I know. A few minutes on the East Coast.
Right, it's East Coast birthday.
But yeah, and Christy is the 11th. So everybody good is born in September. My son, both my
everybody
grandmas,
great is born in May.
Yeah, my mom say that. My mom born in May. So yeah, that's
there you go. There you go, Mom.
But September though, man, I'm telling you, man, we were conceived at the New Year's party. It was something everybody was either going home for Christmas break or around that time or something like that, and then boom, that's how we are. That's why we all so cool. Look at me and Bridget. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, y'all were cool enough to get a song named after you. It's too bad the song is about nothing. But you do have a song named after your birth month. So
yeah, that's real.
There's that.
That's real. We played it back in Smith too. I was excited about that. So yeah, I thought that Alcorn, I think they just sounded better. But Texas Southern, I thought they did better with the play calling. I thought they had like a good display of songs. I was disappointed that I didn't hear any marches. Y'all know me. No marches, no songs that show like a little bit of range. That's
because everybody busy cranking.
Yeah, exactly. And so maybe it's time to crank, and then it's time to show some musicality. So show some range.
All the time.
That's what I'm saying.
You just said a mouthful. How are we going to say it's a time to crank and it's a time for musicality? What?
Well, because they're young.
That's crazy.
Because, I mean...
isn't musicality what we're doing? Like, isn't that all that's at my exact point why I hate that word. That's exactly why I hate it. Well, you done woke me up.
But no, I mean, you right. But at the same time, ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of ignorance, a little something.
You sound like Christy now. That's what she used to say. I like a little bit of ratchet.
Just a little bit. I mean, because it's exciting. That's why I like Talladega. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I don't really even be tripping about how they sound. I just like that they, like, off the chain. And
they sound good, though, this weekend. They sounded good this weekend, though. Did you get to see them this weekend?
No, I only saw Central State, and I saw Kentucky State. Kentucky State is the bomb. Rashad,
I'm trying to tell you, they had a good show.
They did. I have to give you props, Rashad. If you check out our show from last year and our show from 2 years ago, Rashad said that you got to be looking out for the Kentucky State.
Kentucky State, yeah.
Yeah, look out for Kentucky State. But they were good. I give them
props.
I
tell you, their dance routine, I hate dance routines now because they all feel the same. No, Kentucky State brought that dance routine to life. Like, I was like, I wanted to get up off the bed and jump with them. I'm just too old to do that now. But when I say they was lit, they was like on it. Kentucky State had a good show. Their dancers smoked that feel. When I say they smoked it, I was like, okay, that's what a dance line's supposed to look like. The band sounded pretty good. Moments where they lost the sound, but hey, we're not talking about Kentucky State tonight. But go back and watch the Dega show. Dega actually... And I don't like Talladega at all. There's nothing about them I like except for they're from my state of Alabama. But other than that, I don't really like them. But no, Bonds did the daggone thing this weekend. Dega looked good, and let me tell you, they sounding pretty darn good.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I like them. You know what I'm saying? They like the Kanye of the craft right now. You know what I'm saying?
Not Kanye.
Yeah,
just come out and say something crazy,
right,
and then like, everybody, But I mean, they exciting though. You know what I'm saying? They excited. Shout out to Talladega, the Tornadoes.
I just went down to put some uniforms on. They still marching in shorts and t-shirts, but I'm a hush about that.
They probably get more of the funding together because
Probably because he said they got 181 freshmen. Like, who does that?
Wow. Hey,
that's bigger than most folks' band.
That's because he is promoting Bridget cranking. He said, "Come crank, come to Bama, and you can crank." And I bet you like 3,000 students hit him in a couple hours. You know what I'm saying?
Ridiculous.
Because it's time to crank. It's time to crank, Bridget. Yeah. All right. So I think you guys, I think we pretty much covered it. Real quick, Bridget, who do you think sounded better, or who you think had like the better outlook of the halftime show?
Halftime or
I'm sorry, the fifth. I'm sorry, the fifth.
Yeah, I'm gonna give the upper hand to Texas Southern.
Okay, Rashad, what did you have, man? Who'd you have? Same.
Texas Southern.
Okay, yeah, I had Alcorn. So look at you, Alcorn. You can't say nothing about me, man. Hating on y'all. I push y'all twice. But real talk, all joking aside, and I'll say this on my camera. I'll look in the camera. Alcorn, y'all look good. I ain't gonna lie. This is probably the best that I've seen Alcorn. So you guys are going to be a force to be reckoned with this year. Okay, let's take the next.
He got his fingers crossed, y'all.
Hold on. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh no, wrong sound. Yeah, y'all get these sounds together. All right, y'all. Let's go to our next commercial break real quick, and we're gonna come back and go to the SEAC and talk about Clark and Tuskegee. You listen to the 90 Degree Show. I'm about to say y'all mute y'all microphones, but then I muted my microphone when I'm saying it. So y'all mute y'all microphones. We'll be back after this commercial break.
Your host, Joe Beard, and the 90 Degree Show will return in a moment.
Hello, everyone. This is Joe Beard from the Marching Podcast. Is your school, club, or organization looking for high-quality decorated apparel to outfit your students, staff, club, or team? Tired of the same old boring white t-shirt? Are you in charge of the upcoming fundraiser or special event, but don't really have time to troll the internet for ideas or compare products? SAY can help with design and product selection. We can even assist with ideas on conducting an effective fundraising program. SAY can help you save time and get your message heard. So call 1-800-975-3156. SAY Marketing and Promotions.
Give your brand a voice.
Hello, this is Professor Snipes of the Miles College Purple Marching Machine. You are now listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
And now, more of the 90 Degree Show with your host, Joe Beard.
All right, we are back. Thanks again for listening. We are ready to talk about the great SEAC matchup with Clark and with Tuskegee. Again, both directors, friends of the show. So let me restart the clock we got here, everyone. Okay, and now, Bridget, I'll give it to you again, ladies first. What did you think about the halftime show between?
How long do we have to talk?
12 minutes.
That's a long time. I don't need 12 minutes.
The two of y'all.
Yeah, I don't need 12 minutes, but let me say I'm going to take a different take on this. Often we don't know the backstory of programs, and what we see is a combination of a lot of things. I hate when I start to get to know directors and to get to know programs because I feel like I can't really give an unbiased view. But then again, I can provide a different kind of take on things that people don't really consider. So Clark Atlanta has had a lot of struggles over the last few years. You know, they're not getting very much support. And Tuskegee, I didn't realize that they don't really have a department of music. Never knew that. So they pretty much, and I don't think they get very many band scholarships. So the kids who come, they do it because they love it. That's for both programs. And with that said, you know, I saw a product that was kind of like, wow, it was okay. Tuskegee show was okay. Not the best Tuskegee I've seen. Probably not one of the better Tuskegee shows that I've seen, but I also understand their backstory right now. I think I hear some for both bands. I'm hearing some foundational things that they have to kind of work through in musicianship for both bands, and you have to play to your size. You don't have to do the C word because that's not who you are. Just play and play well. Honestly, just play and play well. So I don't want kids to feel like they have to, I'm thinking of the one horn player. I think it's a horn player from Clark, Atlanta, who really was just, trying to overcompensate. I think because he's the only one that's there. You don't have to do that. Just play to your ability and get the best possible sound from your instrument. Tuskegee, I heard some tuning things. There's just a couple of issues that they kind of have. I struggle with the 3 drum major things with smaller bands. I say get 1 drum major and put the other 2 on a horn because the support is kind of needed. Honestly,
right. I agree.
I kind of struggle with that concept, and I know a lot of people just try to maintain it. But I've seen it several years, several bands, 3 drum majors, 2 drum majors, and then your band is a band of like 10 people. Doesn't make sense to me, and I'm not saying that they have a band of 10, but I think they would do, honestly, that's just me. I understand why directors make decisions they want to make for their band. They're trying to keep their brand, keep their style. But right now, I think the band needs more of the musical, both bands need more of the musical support. Tuskegee was the bigger band, but I think Clark actually sounded a little bit better. With some of the fundamental things. They just had a lot that was lacking in sound because they just don't have that overall support. But I pour my support behind both bands because I understand the struggle, the small band struggle, not the school support. All the things that they kind of have going on. Admission standards, that's a big thing. You can go to, hey, I want to go to Talladega. They're going to let me in. There's some schools that have that open enrollment thing, and it does make a difference in who you can recruit. So it does make a difference, and I can tell that they're kind of feeling it. Miles College, they have an open admission standard. They can get anybody they want to. So you really do see a difference in the programs.
That's actually a really good point. Clark is a good school, and Tuskegee is a good school too. Tuskegee's got a lot of historical prestige with it. So yeah, most people think HBCUs, blah blah blah, but like some of these joints is hard to get in. I mean, absolutely. I applied for a gang of them. I'm not going to say which all schools I applied for.
All course.
Oh, hell no. No.
That's where the hatred comes from.
I know. They told you no. Joe, they told you no. He's still mad.
Nah,
he's mad.
Y'all don't start picking on me about that. That's kind of funny, but nah. I was there. A couple of bands. I mean, I got into 4 schools, but what tripped me out was I was like, well, I thought because my parents went to black schools that I automatically was just going to get in. Like, I thought that I could just send out a resume with, like, my horrible high school GPA, and I was just going to get in.
No legacy clause. No legacy clause.
I ended up doing okay on the ACT. That's what actually got me into Hampton. I was surprised when I got that letter. I was just wanted to be on the East Coast. I wasn't trying to actually get into Hampton, but I got in, and I was really surprised about that. But yeah, these are good schools. And then on top of that, you then talk about it being a good school, admission standards. But then Clark and Tuskegee are both private institutions, too. Mm-hmm. That's the other part, man. Like, I remember when I was at Smith was like $9,000 a semester, like back in '96. It was something ignorant. It was something
$9,000 and then
8 or 9,000. Yes, I remember.
It can't have been.
It was high. Yeah, it was high because Jackson State was just like, it was like 5 something because I was out of state, so it was like 5 something per semester. Mm-hmm. But I know that Smith was more expensive than Jackson State, and then the biggest music scholarship for the band that Mr. Gray could give out was $1,200. So I don't know what Tuskegee is like or Clark, but again, these are like good schools. So that's the first thing, Bridget, what I saw, the size. And I know that Miss Price, what's funny is I keep messing her maiden name and her last name up. I keep messing it up. But I know that she's
Brock is a maiden name. Wait, I don't know.
I keep saying Brock Price and Price Brock. And then I did the chopping it up with her. She was like, "You messed up my name, but it's okay." And I was like, "Damn,
that hurt." Price Brock.
Thank you, Rashad. So she's a really good director. Like, she got her stuff together. So that's the first thing I thought about when I saw the band, like how small that they were. And Bridget, just like you, I noticed the holes where one person would stick out more, and like, you know, people trying to compensate for what they don't have. I noticed that too. Rashad, what you think, man, about the halftime show?
I don't have a whole lot to say, but basically Bridget nailed it for what I would say. I'm glad that she added a lot of the history behind the situation, because yeah, it's the same type of thing that you have in Hampton and Howard as well. You know, the your private schools, high tuition equals small band. And it's amazing that Hampton is able to grow as much as it is doing under Dr. Jones right now. But that's just because the university is behind the program. So if you don't have the university behind your program and you have the high tuition, you're going to have a small band. But you know, that's what it is. We all have the cards that we have to work with. With Tuskegee, it just didn't seem like they knew the music, and it also just didn't seem like their attacks just were not solid. Like Bridget said, there's a lot foundationally that needs to happen there. There needs to be more time spent on creating a good tone. And again, if you don't have music majors in your band at all, then that's the problem, because that, of course, is the heart of that for your band program. But you know what? High school bands don't have music majors. They have people that are in the band class, and they're able to generate good tone because they get them in there and they work them. So something needs to happen in order to generate some good tones, some good attacks here, because it just wasn't what I was seeing. I really don't remember a lot of their show. I just remember just not really being happy with what I saw. I think I've seen better from Tuskegee before, and I just was kind of disappointed. Clark Atlanta, again, I say the same thing. There were some times where Clark actually sounded much better than Tuskegee, but there were many other times where they didn't, because you could really tell how small that they were. Yeah. Like, you could really tell, like, there's only like 4 trumpets. There's only like 2 trombones. And like, this is a pretty decent sized band. And then you looked around, you see it's all woodwinds and just a handful of brass. But you know what? It's the things that they're doing. I'm just watching your eyes, Rich.
I'm listening.
You just meditating on the words.
Like, in Jesus' name, amen. I'm praying.
Amen. Tell me what I just said. Now, there's a lot of things that they're doing are making them seem like a small band, and they need to make adjustments. For example, why do they have to be so far away from the sidelines? If you're that small, get closer. Let us hear you. Like, they're past the middle yard line and the middle of the field, and they don't have to be. They should be closer to the field if they're that size. The arrangements seem busy sometimes, you know, and they have a great arranger over there. You know, Marshall does really great work. But if you only have 4 trumpets and 2 trombones, at least, again, that's what it sounded like, and maybe 1 mellophone, it seems like they need to be doing some simpler things, because there was a lot of times, like when that 1 mellophone player was just out there struggling by himself in order to balance the whole rest of the section, and he was having a hard time, or she was having a hard time. And it's like, okay, maybe not divide them up so much. Maybe keep them all together so you get a fuller sound from the band. And there were other times where the low brass section held back a lot, and I didn't understand why they did that. Like, the trumpets would have the melody, and the low brass would be really holding back on their sound. And I understand we need to hear the melody, yes, but a lot of times your low brass section can fill up the sound of your band overall to make you sound bigger, and that melody is going to cut through, and maybe they just need to stop doing that. That dancer team, when they brought out the 3 girls and they had the TLC, I wasn't feeling that. That wasn't very good to me.
I think they were going through a couple songs in decades or something, Tuskegee.
It looked like they were doing some type of medley.
I think it was basically in the 90s. They did that. The guys that did Poison, I thought, were pretty good, except for an important parts of that routine, they did different moves. Like, if you're going to go out there and do the same routine, do the same routine, you know, do the same moves. It really took away from the effect sometimes. So it's kind of started good, but then it didn't really come to anything. And I can't remember who the third group was. Overall, there were some times it sounded better, but I think I say what now?
It was a Beyonce routine.
Yeah. When did Destiny's Child have? Isn't that like the Supremes hairstyles?
I guess, but they
No,
did that. They did that one.
But
yeah.
but is that the hairstyle that they had when they did that?
Oh
Well,
no.
no. So the dancers from, I think it was Tuskegee or Clark, Tuskegee maybe. They wore just their natural hair. Like, no, maybe I'm thinking about one of the dancers. Yeah, that was both of their dance lines. They kind of just wore whatever. Like, you know how
No,
most dance lines where, everybody hair looks the same. Like one sister had, some of them had ponytails and some of them had like poofy hair. And so some of them did wear wigs, but that was the 80s. So they did something from the 80s, they did something from the 90s, and then they did Beyonce, I guess is for up to date. And somebody did have wigs, but one girl had her natural hair. The dancer, they danced because it was like two band members and a dancer in the middle. She
right.
had her natural hair, which when they were dancing, it kind of kept throwing me off because it looked like she's the captain or something. And the rest of the girls had like long, wavy, wet and wavy kind of weaves. And then she just had her natural hair, which I like natural hair, but it just kind of was like, oh. And then Clark Atlanta had the same thing. Like one sister had, her hair is completely, really short, really cute cut. Some had ponytails, some had different things. I just like, I think everybody should get the same lace front wig or something for dancing.
Mhm. But I'm talking about like during the dancer team, like with Destiny Child, they had the one girl and they had two female band members, and their hairstyle was like, was that was Destiny Child? Was that what they were wearing during that? I thought it was kind of weird, but I mean, if it was, it just was weird. It was interesting that they had the girl again from Clark Atlanta that basically had her hair was the same length as mine was, and I've never seen that ever before, and I just thought it was interesting. I mean, I don't know that it's wrong necessarily, but I think maybe they should probably go with the similar hairstyles or something like that.
And
I think that it's okay for you to
agree
have
with
your
you.
individuality
Yeah.
around campus. But I think it's probably better if you're going to be on the field performing that everybody have at least maybe not the exact same hairstyle. I don't think you have to do that necessarily, but I think they should have similar lengths of hair on the field. I think so, but that's just me. I would give it to Tuskegee a little bit on this.
You say you give it to Tuskegee?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what's up. So yeah, the time went out, but I mean, I'm watching it or whatever. But yeah, I totally agree. As far as the girl, with the natural, I like that. She reminded me of that girl that will always be in R. Kelly videos. Y'all know who I'm talking about? I don't know her name, but she would be rapping and she looked just like that girl. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all from the 90s. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
When you say natural, are you talking about just like regular natural hair? Or are you talking about
low
like
cut?
Like my length hair?
Oh, well, me and you, yeah. I mean, her hair was probably about as long as the two R's, right, Rashad?
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, like I like that. But do you remember that girl that was always be with R. Kelly? That looked just like her.
No, but I remember the singing group Johnny.
Johnny.
Hey,
yeah,
Mr.
Yeah.
DJ.
Yeah, but no, I like
they
that.
should have played that.
It's funny. It's funny you say that because I liked her style, but it's funny. In watching this halftime, I thought about you, Rashad, because like some of my analysis or whatever was stuff that I've heard you say. So that was the first thing I thought about. I saw her and I thought she was cute and everything. I liked how they looked, but there was a question of like uniformity. Like, did they all have the same hairstyles, or could they all have the same hairstyle? That was one thing. I felt like Tuskegee had some like attack and release issues. Like they would be playing a song and then you would hear one person cut off or one person kind of in the cracks or something like that. Like there was a lot of that as far as attacking and releasing with Tuskegee. And then I felt like sometimes they had like some intonation problems. They were clearly bigger, but it felt like at times they were trying to like overblow, or maybe they were just trying to blow. I was about to say Kentucky, like just trying to blow just Clark totally out of the stratosphere. Versus like Clark, I thought was good, but I felt like they didn't have like full confidence in that sound. Like they weren't all up there filling up their horns. I felt like they were all kind of playing like maybe concert style or something. You know what I'm saying? Where I would like to hear more more from them, fill up their horns more. And I think it's just a confidence thing. Because, I mean, I don't think there was 100 people out there. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
Clark was really small. And
Really small.
and they sounded small, but it was like, all right, you can still have that confidence, though, where everybody plays together and everybody was good. But I think they're on their way. But for me, I'm trying to think, what I look at my notes. I think I didn't really know who was better or who sounded better because it was so close. Other than those notes that I had, I do like when Tuskegee was about to do their dance routine. They said, "We about to ball and parlay. We about to ball and parlay." I like that. I like that because they got the ball and parlay little theme song. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
I think they need to let it go. I think that's like the tribute. How you feel about the tribute show? I think they need to let that go.
Really?
Yes.
Like the song, or are you talking about like when they play the song at their football game?
Yeah, they're like hyping themselves on that ball and parlay. Like, okay, like everybody's doing that now. Like, who cares? I think that's a who cares moment. Like when they were chanting that, I was like, really? Like, please don't play that. Like, for real.
I get excited because it's still kind of new to me. I think I'm still it ain't run out for me yet. You know what I'm saying?
I love how they get so hype about it.
Yeah, they love them some ball and parlay, man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I did think that as far as the camera angles, I think it was band tube. It wasn't high up, so like you couldn't see like the full, drill. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like I couldn't see who had like the better drill, but I could tell like Clark stayed within themselves on their drill. Like their drill was like super basic. They were like to the right 8, was it TTR to the rear, back 8 counts. Like it was super basic what they were doing. But only thing that jumped out to me, and you guys can I think both relate, were both bands did not keep their horns front. Like the biggest thing was like, okay, these two size bands, you want them to keep the sound up front. Like I don't want to ever hear the sound go away. Both of those bands like turned their back on the crowd. And that was really surprising to me considering, how small they both are. So that's what jumped out to me. I don't really know who was better though, per se. I just know that I did not like all of the dancing that Tuskegee was. All the dancers, yeah, I just wasn't feeling that. And I think you guys were pretty much the same about that. It did look like they were having fun, but I don't know. I don't know. It just wasn't my thing. So is that it? Is there anything else, guys, that we need to talk about? We talked about them two schools, those two. The fifth quarter between these two schools, was there anything that you guys want to talk about in the fifth?
I was just saying, Joe, that I agree with you 100%. I was going to say that too, and I forgot about particularly Clark. That's another thing that they're doing that makes them seem small is that they're facing away from the crowd. And they need to find, not saying they need to be like a MEAC band and stay 100%, but they definitely, in their drill, need to find more times to face front. And they spent most of their time facing the side. And it's a loss. It's going to be a complete fail if that's how you're drilling when you're a small band.
Exactly. Totally, exactly. Did you guys have anything to add about the fifth quarter between the two schools? Yeah, it was pretty much the same as far as intonation and way they both sounded on the field. It was basically the same. But like I said, we're really love both programs, real supportive of both programs, and we're pulling for both directors that they'll continue to be successful. Okay, real quick commercial, and then I'll come back and we'll close out the show. You listen to the 90 Degree Show. Thanks for listening, everyone. And we'll be right back out to close the show.
Your host, Joe Beard, and the 90 Degree Show will return in a moment.
If you're thinking about buying or selling real estate in the Southern California area, please contact Kevin Pete of REMAX Patriots. He will meet and exceed all of your needs. You can contact Kevin at 951-858-5942. That's 951-858-5942. Or you can email Kevin at kpsaleshomes@sbcglobal.net. That's KP, his initials, Kevin Pete, KP Sells Homes, all one word, at sbcglobal.net. Thanks again.
And now, more of the 90 Degree Show with your host, Joe Beard.
All right, guys, we are back. Time to close out the show. I still got my little times up there. I'll just leave it up there because, you know, I'm excited about having a little clock up there like we on PTI. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to leave it up there. Thanks for the support, the love. We still getting stuff together, working out with visual and audio streaming live, but we appreciate all the support and all the wonderful, positive things that people in the craft are telling us about the show. So we appreciate it. Real quick, I wanted to start, and please forgive me to all the brethren and all the bros here in the area, out here in Southern California. I want to take a melancholy time. I should have started the show, so please forgive me. I should have started the show, but we still working all these technical issues. But a young man passed this weekend. His name was Tyler Hilliard. Tyler... and how he was significant was one of my frat brothers, Chuck Moore, who I did a chopping it up with him, started what's called Legacy Roundtable, and that is exposing young black males to high levels of mathematics. So, like, they try their best to get, like, young guys either in the 9th grade or going in the 9th grade, exposing them to, like, calculus and advanced geometry and stuff. So they'll be, you know, so they're adapting, so they'll be looking forward to having a career in the future. Well, Tyler was one of the students in the original Legacy Roundtable program. Did really good in school, and later went to University of California, Riverside, to attend college. He died, I think, a couple of nights ago. And I don't want to get into too much speculation, but apparently there is a lot of alleged hazing activity around what was going on. And so we've talked about this a little bit. We talked about FAM, we talked about the hazing and how they sound. This was like last year. But hazing is something that's not going away. It was big when I was in school, and now it's still going on. And despite people dying, it's still going on. So I just hope that all of us in the craft, especially us HBCU grads, we understand how important what we're doing is for our community. But yeah, definitely, I guess, start to pray, because that's all I can really say about doing, because I can't sit here now and point the finger and talk about we need to stop beating people down. We need to understand what's going on, because I swear when I was at Jackson State, I was the most ignorantest person probably in the world. But only after age, you know, I matured and figured out that, you know, maybe that's not the way to bring people in. But I don't want to go too much deep in it. I just want to know that I let his family know that I'm praying for him. I did want to start the show with him, but I apologize. And shout out to his family, and I really do hope that we come up with something so that we're not killing each other. All right. Bridget, anything else to close the show with tonight?
That's it. Everybody, thank you for listening.
Bridget, you look wonderful. Me. Bridget, you're wonderful. Hold on. In fact, let's go and give Bridget some pride. I know you can't hear the people.
11:14. I just want you to know it's 11:14 on the East Coast.
11:14 on the East Coast.
I usually be in my second dream sequence by now.
Yeah, I'm about to say 11 o'clock for me. I know I'm knocked out. So again, thanks. I appreciate you, Bridget. Rashad, anything to close out the show, man?
So again, make sure to check us out, or check me out on my other show, Color Commentary. You can find us right there on YouTube. Color, spelled the regular way, as well as Commentary, spelled the regular way. It's called Color Commentary because, well, we're colored and we're commenting on stuff.
Wow.
So we talk about movies and TV shows. We just wrapped up Iron Fist. So that show will be coming up probably tonight or tomorrow. And then just look at this. I'm watching a video on YouTube now. I see them clapping now.
That's tight. That's tight.
I just now pulled it up. Yes, I graduated from Drummond Monkey. Thank the Lord.
That's right. That's right. You got to have layers in this thing.
And we just did The Predator. We saw The Predator this past weekend. And if you've seen the original Predator, you will probably just want to throw something at the screen for this movie. Watch our review to figure out how we thought about it.
You said what color?
Selling your spats and your shoes and gloves and mouthpieces and reeds and drumsticks. But check us out as well.
What you
Rashad, when Rashad said we're colored, I thought about we're colored, we're happy, and we're singing, and we're colored. I thought about that. Yeah, exactly. Need to be a theme music.
Man. Shout out to the show. I really like the show. You guys are doing really good. Like I say, I'm not into the comic. I wasn't into the comic book. I'm into them now because all the movies are like doing really well. So I appreciate your show explaining stuff. I'm actually in the middle of Iron Fist now. So after I finish, I'll check you guys out. He seems like not the one with the least amount of swag to me out of all of them. I mean, of course, I like Luke Cage. Love me some Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones is like 85 pounds, and she be beating the hell out of people. So I like her. Iron and Daredevil, I like him too, but Iron Fist, he just seems like just aight to me. I don't know what it is. But again, thanks you guys for being wonderful, wonderful people to help us do this thing for the craft. And like I said, we appreciate all you guys on the East Coast. We know it's late, but you guys can check us out at any time on YouTube for this very show. All right. Thanks again for listening. We've come to the end of our show. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor or a patron to the Marching Podcast, please contact the show and we'll give you the criteria so we can start to pub your business using our platform. We'll play your commercial. We'll post your website on our blog. We'll help send out your information through social media. So contact us so we can help build your business. We'll come to the end of our show. Check out the website and donate what's in your heart to the Marching Podcast. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thanks to you for listening. And remember, the lectures you deliver may be very fine and true, but I'd rather get my lesson in observing what you do. See you next time.
And that's it for the 90 Degree Show for this week. Tune in next week with Joe Beard, where the marching band battles continue.